Salman Rushdie has been getting death threats for more than 35 years. The Indian-born British-American novelist sparked outrage with his book The Satanic Verses in 1988. It was declared blasphemous by many Muslims, so much so that Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Khomeini issued a fatwa against him, calling for his death. In August 2022, the Booker Prize-winning author was stabbed multiple times on stage in New York State, leaving him blind in one eye. His attacker is now on trial for attempted murder. The book Knife is Salman Rushdie's account of what happened. He spoke about the work at the 20th edition of the Hay Festival Cartagena in Colombia, where he sat down with Léa Hurel from France 24's Spanish channel.
Salman Rushdie, hi, and thanks for joining us on France 24.
Thank you. Very, very good to be with you.
After this attack that almost killed you on the 12th of August 2022, you choose to tell the world about all your wounds, physical and emotional, in your last book, Knife. Why did you choose to show yourself even more vulnerable at a time of great vulnerability?
You know, initially I didn't want to write about it. I thought I would just write about anything else, you know, but not that. And I tried. And what I found is that I couldn't write about anything else because this event, not just the event itself, but its implications and ramifications, you know, were just too present in the front of my mind. And I understood that that the only way of getting past it was to go through it. So then at the moment that I made the decision to write about it, then somehow my mood, my attitude completely changed. And I thought, yeah, I actually really want to write about it. And so then it became important to do.
And you wrote Knife to try to understand why this man, the assassin, or the A as you call it, in your book, tried to kill you. But in the end, after reading your book, I thought that I learned more about love and about the pursuit of happiness. Was it intentional?
Yes, because what I thought is, okay, if I want to describe what happened, I can do that in like 10 or 12 pages. You know, so that's not a book. That's a newspaper article. So then I thought, is there a book here? What is the book? And I began to think that the book was about a struggle between beautiful things and ugly things. You know, it was about love and hatred, about beauty and ugliness, you know, about murder and life. And so the aspect of the book which is about life and beauty and love and happiness and laughter and so on was my way of offering an opposing force to the force of violence and hatred. You know, and so the book is about that opposition.
What would you say you think is the most powerful healing force, art or love?
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I don't want to choose. I do think that writing the book, for me, was a way of retaking control of the narrative. It gave me back that feeling of power over my own fate. You know, that was very important. But I mean, the book is about love, you know. So the two things are too entwined. I can't choose.
In Knife, you also talk about the many books that inspired you in your life, and 100 Years of Solitude, written by Gabriel Garcia Marquez, is one of them. Why was it such an inspiration for you?
Well, because it's one of the greatest books written in the last 100 years, you know. And I mean, I can't even think of what is the next one. You know? Also because and it's not just Garcia Marquez, it's the literature of Latin America, you know, the so-called El Boom, you know, that moment. What I felt is recognition. You know, I thought, okay, this is a world that I haven't been in, and I don't really know it, and it's speaking in a language I don't speak, but there's so much I recognize. There's both from my life in India and Pakistan. Here are two cultures, both of which have a powerful presence of religion. I mean, different religions, but very powerful. Both of them have a colonizer history, different colonizers, but same principle. Both of them have had military interventions in politics. I thought there's so much here that I already know, because I know it in a different continent, but this work is familiar to me, you know. And so I think one of the reasons why that book became important to me was because I recognized so much in it.
You felt a kind of brotherhood?
I thought, I know this. You know, this is like my world translated into Spanish, you know. And it wasn't so much influence as recognition.
In 1989, Iran's Ayatollah Khomeini issued a fatwa calling for your assassination following the release of your book, The Satanic Verses. This forced you into hiding for nearly a decade. Many writers are living right now under threats because of war, governments, or enemies who wants to silence them. Salman, what's at stake for humanity when writers are being silenced?
Well, first of all, it's not the first time. You know, I mean, the history of the world shows us many occasions when writers have been oppressed by this or that regime. I mean, the Soviet Union, obviously, you know, and China always, including today, and in all over the world. I mean, you know, in Cuba, particularly if you were a gay writer, it was very difficult because there was hostility towards you. So there's nothing new, and the literary world has always known that writing is a risky business, you know, and yet we persevere, you know, because what else is there to do? You either give up or you don't give up, and my view is don't give up.
I wanted to talk to you about an organization. The name of this organization is Forbidden Stories. I don't know if you know.
I don't know.
This organization. It's an organization whose mission is to continue and to publish the work of other journalists under threat, or facing prison or murder. What would you think about something similar for writers?
Well, yeah, I mean, it sounds interesting to me. I mean, I don't know the organization, but to magnify voices is one of the great things that writers can do for each other. You know, I mean, I've been involved, for example, in the case of the Ukraine situation, with literary organizations like PEN America, to magnify the importance of the voices of Ukrainian writers, you know, by repeating what they say, by republishing what they say. So something like that already is happening.
Talking about PEN America, according to this free speech advocacy group, books in the US are under profound attack, with over 10,000 books banned in public schools over the last school year. In recent years, several laws have been passed in Republican-controlled states to restrict books. Have you ever thought that could happen in America?
No, I mean, and it's a kind of obscenity. You know, because the books that are being banned are some of them are some of the most important books in American literature. You know, the work of writers like Toni Morrison, you know, or Mark Twain. A very heavy emphasis on trying to ban books about Black experience, or about gay experience, or about transgender experience, or anything which isn't heterosexual white Christian becomes a target. And yet America is one of the most diverse communities in the world. So to try and limit what it is to heterosexual white people is just an untruth about America. You know? And so we're fighting it. You know, I think there is a First Amendment case to be made. That these book bans offend against the First Amendment because they offend against the reader's right to read. You know? And there are cases going through the law courts in Florida and elsewhere. We'll see how they turn out, but I think there's quite a good chance of success.
Do you feel that the next 4 years during this second mandate of Donald Trump are going to make things worse?
Yes, no question, because I think it allows people on the far right to feel enabled, to feel confident to go forward down these lines. So the battle will intensify, there's no question.
And finally, Salman, to end this conversation on a more positive note, maybe, what can we wish you that now that you're living what you call in your last book, Knife, your second chance life?
Just more novels, please. I mean, I never, when I wanted to be a writer, I never wanted to write about myself. That was the least interesting thing for me. And then I've ended up writing 2 books about myself, of which this is the second. Enough. I want to go back to making things up.
So more novels, more writing.
More novels, yes, please.
That's right. Thank you so much, Salman.
Thank you.